Steins Gate is widely considered one of the best science fiction anime of all time, based on the visual novel developed by 5PB and Nitro Plus. It aired 2011. Actually, when it aired, like this anime is one of those ones that I had to, kind of understand later because 2011 I was like a kid. I was very young. I was very young. So like I didn't I'm sorry, that was the time, I was still watching Naruto and stuff, man. Just give me Sharingans, give me Bleach and Dragon Ball Z and the rest of them. Full Metal Alchemist. I'm good with those. This was too deep for my mind then, but now, I appreciate it as an older person, like right now. What sets it apart though isn't just the time travel concept, it's how it explores the emotional and psychological weight of messing with time itself, something that a lot of media seem to forget. With its mix of hard sci-fi, suspense, emotional drama, and even some well-timed humor, Steins Gate delivers a very gripping, slow burn story that explodes into high stakes intensity. So, whether you're into thought-provoking plots or just love strong character development, Steins Gate is definitely worth the watch. So, let's talk about the story and let's not waste any more time. So, at its core, Steins Gate follows Rintaro Okabe. He's a self-proclaimed mad scientist who operates a makeshift lab with his friends in Akihabara. Their lives change dramatically when they accidentally discover a way to send messages into the past using a modified microwave and a phone. Yes, a microwave. That's crazy. This discovery sets off a chain of events that brings them into conflict with a powerful organization known as CERN, a fictional version of CERN, who has their own time travel experiments. So as Okabe experiments more and more with time travel, the consequences begin to pile up and the stakes become even more deep and they become more personal. So the plot kind of slowly evolves from this quirky slice of life moments into a gripping, tragic, and emotionally intense thriller. You understand? Like it comes at you like real fast and it's absolutely beautiful. The story cleverly uses these real scientific theories like the concept of world lines, the butterfly effect, and the idea of convergence. I'll be honest, some of these I still don't really understand it too well. I'm not a mad scientist myself, but yeah, it is intriguing to watch and it's very interesting to see everything unfold. So where events tend to reach the same conclusions and outcomes despite minor changes. Eventually, Okabe finds himself in a loop, trying desperately to save the people he loves, especially one key character, from dying over and over again. To truly win, he must find a path to a world line called Steins Gate, where no one has to die, but reaching it isn't easy. So the basic story is a very thought-provoking stuff. It's a mind fuck. You understand? Like it wants you to think constantly. That's why I said when he dropped 2011, I was a kid. I couldn't watch this at all. My mind was not developed enough to understand it. So it's something that I think if you're an adult and you're looking for something, a very brain thought-provoking anime to watch, I think you should watch Steins Gate. You will enjoy the story very well. Now let's talk about the characters because the characters are honestly so interesting. Like we talked about, we have Rintaro Okabe, also known as Houin Hyoma. I'm sorry if I butchered that for real. That was a mouthful of Japanese. He's eccentric, theatrical, and often seems delusional. But beneath that goofy exterior is a deeply intelligent and emotionally complex protagonist. So as the series progresses, we see him break down, rebuild, and mature in ways that feel truly earned. Then we have Kurisu Makise, a genius neuroscientist. She plays off the main character well. She plays off Rintaro well. She has a sharp tongue and a very brilliant mind. So seeing two of them bicker is honestly one of the high points of the story. She and Okabe have one of the most compelling relationships in anime. Their dynamic starts with friction, but slowly builds into genuine respect, trust, and eventually love. She's the emotional heart of the show, and you truly see it shine, and they don't pull any punches in making you know that. Next, we have Mayuri Shina, Okabe's childhood friend, sweet, innocent, and often underestimated. While she doesn't understand the science, her presence is a grounding force. Her fate becomes a major emotional driver for the plot. She's kind of like the viewers, the average viewers kind of, will I say, eyes into the show. The majority of us watching this, I assume we're not scientists or like extremely smart to understand the physics going on in the show. So she's kind of like what the ordinary person sees. Then we have Itaru Daru Hashida, the pervy yet lovable hacker who helps make the time machine possible. He's got great comic timing and proves himself to be surprisingly reliable and loyal. There are other notable characters too, including Suzuha, a time traveler with a mission, Moeka, a mysterious and emotionally disturbed woman tied to CERN, and Luca and Faris, who add more emotional and philosophical depth to the story. Each character serves a purpose, either thematically, emotionally, or narratively. No one is just there. Everybody has something they do and everybody has something they add to the story. That's part of what makes Steins Gate so immersive. Now, what are my thoughts on Steins Gate? Steins Gate is a masterpiece in slow burn storytelling. The first half is deliberately paced and may seem a bit light or confusing at first, but that build up is worth it. It's so worth it for real. When the tonal shift happens, it hits hard. You don't even expect it. If it's your first time watching, the way it deals with time travel is smarter than most mainstream media, even today. It avoids cheap tricks and instead focuses on consequences, emotional and moral, of altering reality. One thing I love about this anime actually is how much it trusts its audience, which is why, like I said, watching it doesn't try to dumb down things for its audience. That was why I like to watch it young would have been a terrible mistake because you wouldn't even understand anything. It's not trying to explain anything really to a younger audience. It trusts its audience to be old enough and mature enough to understand the themes that it's trying to teach. It throws complex concepts at you, but it gives you time to catch up. It rewards patience and careful attention to detail. The science, the suspense, and the emotional weight all comes together to make something truly unforgettable. Also, the emotional impact, especially watching Okabe go through trauma, breakdown, and then rise again to keep fighting, is something few animes do as well. And the romance between Okabe and Kurisu is subtle. It feels very, very authentic and heart-wrenching, when things keep happening the way they do. If I just had something to say, I'd say that it's that, the early episodes can be a bit slow if you're not patient. But if you are patient, you will enjoy the fruits of your labor of watching everything from start to finish. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a deep emotional ride about regret, sacrifice, and holding on to hope, no matter how many timelines it takes. If you're looking for a mind-bending, heart-wrenching anime with unforgettable characters and plot that pays off in spades, Steins Gate is a must-watch for you. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Have you watched Steins Gate? Did you enjoy it, or are you looking forward to watching it? What are you currently watching? Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.